DAO 202516 Guidelines in the Inventory of Structures within Forest Lands. Illegal settlements, rampant deforestation, irreversible land use changes. These challenges threaten the very integrity of the Philippines' forest and forest lands. The Philippines has an approximate 15 million hectares of forest lands, a sanctuary for diverse flora and fauna, and a vital provider of ecosystem services to sustain life, livelihood, and environmental balance. Despite management efforts across agencies, communities, private sectors, our forests remain vulnerable. Inventory of structure plays a crucial role in monitoring of illegal activities and managing land use within forest areas. Using advanced satellite image analysis and geospatial tools like ArcGIS Survey 123, systematical documentation of structures within forest lands is made possible. DENR Administrative Order No. 2025-16, entitled Guidelines on the Inventory of Structures within Forest Lands, aims to provide guidance for the conduct of an inventory of structures within forest lands, using geospatial technologies such as Geographic Information System and remote sensing, and in situ validation using offline data collection tools. The data to be gathered in the inventory of structures shall serve as baseline information in the proper management, conservation, and protection of forest land area. This shall be the basis for policy, planning, and decision-making processes in strengthening the monitoring and forest protection activities. It covers the inventory of all structures, permanent or temporary, both vertical and horizontal, within forest lands. It shall collect data on the structure status, the type of material used in construction, the owner or holder or any person responsible for the establishment of the structure, geographical location, and geotagged photos, among others. The inventory of structures is conducted to assess the number of existing developments, track yearly expansion trends, and identify the key factors driving built-up area growth. This provides insights for effective forest management and conservation. The inventory shall be determined based on the following. A. Location of structures. Structures within forest lands are classified into 6 categories, based on location in aid of the methodology to be employed. 1. Untenured forest lands and within perennial croplands. 2. Untenured forest lands with forest cover and 0 to 18% slope. 3. Untenured forest lands with forest cover and above 18% slope. 4. Untenured forest lands with other land cover types. 5. Untenured forest lands and CAD-T or CAL-T areas and tenured forest lands. Initial data requirements. The following are the minimum spatial data needed in the inventory of structures within forest lands. Forest land boundary using the legal land classification maps of the National Mapping and Resource Information Authority. Unclassified public forests from NAMRIA. Forestry tenure instruments from FMP and DENR regional offices. Latest land cover map from NAMRIA. Ancestral lands with Certificate of Ancestral Domain Title, or CADT or CALT from the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples. Land Administration and Management System, or LAMS. Data specifically shapefiles of title plans from the Land Management Bureau. Mining tenements from the Mines and Geosciences Bureau. Legislated protected areas from the Biodiversity Management Bureau. Information on collection requirements. The following are the minimum information required for the ground survey as shown in the survey questionnaire provided in the offline data collection tool. Name of regional jurisdiction. Name of Penro jurisdiction. Name of Senro jurisdiction. Name of congressional district, name of municipality or city jurisdiction, team number, and numerator code, methodology used in identifying structures. For example, satellite imagery, ODCT and/or drone survey, tenure compliance monitoring, location of structures provided in Section 5.1, type of structure, house, power lines, storage facility, etc., reference year or year constructed, vertical height in terms of number of floors, estimated area of the structures in square meters, type of material used in construction, brick, wood, mixed, etc. Structures used, example, abandoned, residential, commercial, residential and commercial, industrial, institutional, geographical location of the structure, classification of structure, permanent, temporary, name of owner or contact person, photo or image of structure, other relevant information, basis of occupation and reference year. Example, tax declaration, TCT, business permit, LC map, and FAO number. The inventory of structures is conducted through satellite imagery analysis, on-the-ground surveys using smartphones and drone surveys, and secondary data from compliance monitoring reports and comprehensive development and management plans. Procedures for the conduct of inventory involves the determination of universe and development of survey tool to be cascaded to field offices, the use of satellite imagery analysis and conduct of in situ validation or drone survey. The universe for the inventory covers the entire forest lands of the Philippines, including unclassified public forests, processed through GIS to determine data collection methods, satellite imagery analysis, in situ validation, and drone survey and tenure reports. Data processing involves the inclusion of unclassified public forests and the exclusion of legislated protected areas provided by BMB and mining tenements from MGB. The generated remaining forest land shall be divided into two categories: tenured and untenured forest lands. The untenured forest lands are divided into 5 categories, considering the CADT map from NCIP and the land cover and slope map from NAMRIA. These categories shall be the basis for the data collection method to be employed. The indicative universe produced from the aforementioned process shall be vetted by the regional offices, which shall serve as the final universe. The survey tool shall be developed using smart forms of ArcGIS Survey 123 and ArcGIS field maps. Satellite imagery analysis. This approach entails analyzing satellite imagery sourced from open image repositories. The final approach involves the gathering of data and information from the ground using the Offline Data Collection Tool, or ODCT, in untenured forest lands, specifically within perennial croplands, open and closed forests with below 18% slope. ODCT provides smart forms that can be installed on Android or iOS devices that require no internet connection during the survey. The smart forms are generated using ArcGIS Survey 123 and ArcGIS field maps. The following data on the structure shall be collected: type, use, status, material used in construction, owner or holder or any person responsible for the establishment of the structure, basis of occupation, geographical location, geotagged photos. Recording of the location of the structures shall meet the requirement of 5 to 10 meters accuracy using the Geographical Coordinate System, or WGS-84. In situations where conducting an on-site survey is not feasible due to inaccessibility, example, ravine or cliff areas, drone image analysis shall be employed. The orthomosaic images shall be used to count and digitize the structures considering the step in satellite imagery analysis. Inventory of structures within tenure areas. Available geospatial data and information related to structures within tenured areas will be obtained from the compliance monitoring of the Enforcement Division vis-a-vis the submitted Comprehensive Development and Management Plans or CDMP from Licenses, Patents, and Deeds Division. The FMB shall provide supplementary guidelines on the inventory of structures within tenured areas if the need arises. Prioritization of inventory. The inventory process will prioritize structures within untenured forest lands and those outside of CADT or CALT areas. For structures within perennial croplands and forested areas, both closed and open forests with slopes below 18%, the ODCT survey tool and/or drones will be used for data collection. On the other hand, structures within other land cover types, open and closed forests with slopes above 18%, as well as those within built-up and CADT or CALT areas, will be assessed using satellite imagery. The Regional Technical Working Group is led by the Assistant Regional Director for Technical Services and co-led by the Chief of Surveys and Mapping Division. The members shall include representatives from the Enforcement Division, Conservation and Development Division, Licenses, Patents, and Deeds Division, Planning and Management Division, Legal Division, Regional NGP Coordinator, Regional GIS Focal. Ground validation team shall be formed in the Community Environment and Natural Resources Office and the Implementing Provincial Environment and Natural Resources Office. For the CENRO, it shall be led by the CENR officer assisted by the Development Managed Office 4 and composed of the following members. CENRO GIS Focals, technical staff from A. Monitoring and Enforcement Section, B. Regulation and Permitting Section, C. Conservation and Development Section. In case of the implementing PENROS, it shall be led by the Chief Technical Services Division and composed of the PENRO GIS focal person and staff from the different technical sections. The Forest Management Bureau Regional Technical Working Group and Group Validation Team have corresponding roles and responsibilities for the implementation of the inventory of structures. The Forest Management Bureau or FMB shall perform the following function. Determination of boundaries for the three major methodologies, particularly satellite imagery analysis, use of offline data collection tools, and areas for tenure compliance monitoring. The FMB shall create the initial universe, ensuring that there is no overlap among the boundaries. Additionally, the FMB shall develop and design the survey tool using ArcGIS Survey 123. The final universe vetted by the FMB and the RO shall be the basis for planning the 3-year implementation of the inventory. The regional office shall create the Regional Technical Working Group and ground validation teams through special order. Roles and responsibilities of the Regional Technical Working Group shall include the following. Designation of Lead Division. The Surveys and Mapping Division shall be designated as the Lead Division, shall facilitate the consolidation of data on structures and shall mobilize the identified ground validation team members. Consolidation of inventory data. The Regional TWG shall consolidate all geospatial data on structures, which shall include the data gathered using ODCT and/or drone survey and satellite imagery analysis, and tenured forest lands. Identification of structures using satellite imagery analysis. The Regional TWG shall conduct satellite imagery analysis within the boundaries of other land cover types outside tenure, closed and open forests above 18% slope, and CADT or CALT areas to identify structures within these areas. Polygons shall be created for each visible structure using satellite images. Information to be gathered shall only be limited to the number of structures and other relevant information that can be identified. Monitoring of ground validation team accomplishment. The regional TWG shall be responsible in determining the accomplishment of the ground validation team based on the implementation plan of their respective regions. The Ground Validation Team or GVT shall carry out the ground inventory through the conduct of ODCT surveys within perennial croplands, open and closed forests below 18% slope, inventory of structures using ODCT. The Ground Validation Team shall be responsible for gathering first-hand data and information about structures through the conduct of surveys by municipality. The team may also gather other relevant information from the LGUs, such as business permits, tax maps, land use maps, among others. The inventory shall implement the smart forms created and provided by FMB. Aerial validation using drones. The team may opt to use the following aerial validation using drones for areas where entry is not feasible, such as presence of ravines and creeks. A. Drone survey. The existing protocol on the use of quadcopter remotely piloted aircraft or RPA in the monitoring and assessment of forestry, environment, and natural resources programs and projects shall be adopted. B. GIS analysis from acquired images from drone. The orthomosaic images from the drone survey shall be used to digitize the structures. C. Areas restricted to drone surveys. No drone survey shall be conducted within a 10-kilometer radius of the airport. Only the inventory using an ODCT survey shall be performed in these areas. Review, consolidation, and submission of ODCT survey report. The ground validation team shall submit the gathered data and information with analysis and recommendations for immediate appropriate actions, if any, to the concerned PENRO. The concerned PENRO shall review, consolidate, and submit the same to the regional TWG. In the case of implementing PENRO, they shall directly submit to the regional TWG. The inventory output will form part of the regional office's FSD submission. The submission of output shall be done by the supervising and implementing PENROs, the regional FSD management team, and the FMB Geospatial Data Management Team or GDMT shall be responsible for conducting the quality control and quality assurance of the submitted data. There are 3 reports required under this order. The timeline of submission shall be as follows. 1. Interim progress report shall be submitted by the ground validation team monthly, every 10th of the ensuing month. 2. Progress report shall be submitted by the Regional Technical Working Group semi-annually to the Forest Management Bureau every end of July and end of January. 3. Final report shall be submitted by the Regional Technical Working Group after the 3-year implementation of the inventory. The reports shall follow the prescribed format and shall include physical and financial accomplishment reports, analysis, issues and challenges, and recommendations. Data attribution. The information to be included in the shapefiles of the structures within forest lands shall follow the format as shown in Annex. Data uploading. The ground validation team shall upload their survey data in the FSD portal using the respective regional accounts for ArcGIS Survey 123. This shall serve as a means of verification of accomplishment. If the ground validation team conducted inventory through drone images, an accomplished report shall be submitted through a memorandum to the regional office, including shapefiles and map layout. This is also the same with the structures data collected from tenured forest lands. This is also the same with the structures data collected from tenured forest lands. Said accomplishments shall be consolidated by the RTWG. A rollout and capacity building activities will be provided by the FMB in coordination with the Geospatial Database Office, or GDO, to ensure that the inventory of structures within forest lands will be conducted correctly and efficiently. Within 3 years of the effectivity of this order, the FMB and the RO shall complete the baseline inventory of structures within forest lands. In the event that the target area cannot be accomplished within the 3-year activity, the regional office, through a memorandum addressed to the FMB director, shall officially request for extension, including the area coverage and justification. For the succeeding years, the inventory shall be included in the regular monitoring activities of the regional offices as part of the evidence-based enforcement process and shall be updated annually.